sharing, Randall.
Despite your sentiment, Randall, shout out for the nice golf voice during the national anthem.
Yes, well, that's
Good
tough,
job.
right?
It is
because
impossible.
you want to be respectful
Yeah,
of the anthem, but you also want to set the scene and talk about what's happening.
Softly. Yeah.
And let her sing it out, and she did a great job. So there you go. And we're going to head back to the Strawberry Festival coming up here in just a little bit. But I had some fun with Lori with today's question of the day. As you guys know, brought to you by Kitchen Saver Custom Cabinet Renewal. I was thinking of you when I put this together, and I'm like, ooh, Lori's going to have something to say about this. We are asking, how do you feel about going to sleep at night with your kitchen still dirty? And I took a survey. I asked in the offices, and George, you said?
Well, I clean up. And it's weird. I think my wife has rubbed off on me because she's a little OCD.
Yeah.
But she has sometimes left it for me to clean up, and I do it because I don't want to wake up to a big pile of mess.
Of course not. But you're like, nah, my kitchen's always dirty. It's fine. I cook too much.
It's always open. It's a revolving door. And so if it's 10 o'clock at night and it's between doing dishes or like sitting down and unwinding, I always choose sitting down and unwinding. I can do the dishes when I wake up.
And Rand, you cook so much too.
Well, I
that,
do,
you know.
In the morning, when I get up, I do some radio from home, and so I always make a piece of toast. So I put butter on the toast, and I make some coffee, and I always make sure that I clean that knife off.
Oh, yeah.
And I clean the spoon off too from the coffee. So I make sure I clean the kitchen.
Oh, that's nice of you, Rand. Well, I know that we want to get into this segment. We'll read some of those comments and see what you guys are saying coming up in just a little bit. But hey, Miss Lori, it's time for cherries.
You know, I'm so excited about the cherry salsa. I almost jumped right into it at the top of the show. But
ready.
All right. So like I was saying, so I know downtown they're celebrating strawberries, iconic summertime fruit.
Yes.
We talked about last time I was on. Great time of year to buy those. Cherries, though, it is all about cherries, you guys. We are getting into the Northwest cherry season. Those are the cherries that are grown in Washington State. They are literally world famous. They are grown in our country and they are sold throughout the world.
They look delicious.
So we are going to show everyone how to actually cook with cherries. So they're great to just eat raw and spit the pits. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But if you go through the process of pitting the cherries, slicing them up, you can have a delicious new take on a salsa this summer.
Perfect.
So,
cool.
All right. So I wanted to make sure that everyone knew I'm a huge fan of these cherry pitters. This is the one kitchen gadget tool that I think you must have. No, and you know, it should have popped right out and it didn't, but there's a pit in there. It makes it a lot easier to come out. So
that was a dud.
That's all right.
Just a dud.
So just so you know, that's how I did this quickly. I used my cherry pitter tool. It took me maybe 15 minutes to pit an entire bag of cherries and then another, 5 minutes to chop them up fine.
And it's so worth it. They're so good.
So worth it. So what we're going to do is this is diced yellow tomatoes. This is more for color than anything. You can use diced yellow bell peppers if you don't like tomatoes. I'm using diced cilantro.
Yum.
That's one bunch of cilantro, finely chopped. You can use basil if you're anti-cilantro. This is green onions, one bunch.
A lot of contrasting flavors.
Yes, and then for the heat, we're actually using a can of chilies, and it's undrained. You know, that brine that the chilies are in the can is kind of nice.
So
and then
keep it.
Juice of one lime. It's not a salsa until you bring the lime. Kind of feel the same way about the garlic. To keep it easy, we're just going to do a squeeze as opposed to chopping it up. Pepper, salt. And then it's the easy, fun part. We're just going to mix it up, okay? And this comes together so fun, so easy, so colorful.
Oh, it's
and really
beautiful.
Yeah, and it just gets better as it sits. So you can make a big old batch of this, and it is good on literally everything.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you do tortilla chips or something else?
So I brought crackers, graham crackers, and just like club crackers today, but it's delicious dipped like with tortilla chips. It's also a really good, any grilled meats that you're doing, it's a really good topper for that as well.
That would be good.
Yes. So,
Ribeye.
Are you going to eat any of this? Sarah?
Yeah, you can. I'm actually going to serve it up here for you. Put it in the serving bowl, and you can have at it.
Yum.
So we just put it on a cracker?
You can do whatever you want. This is your show. I'm just the guest. All right.
Did you hear that, Rand?
So yes, you can certainly.
So
and really, when you think about from a presentation point of view, this is just striking. You know,
Yeah,
I love
really
that.
is.
Yeah. So we eat with our eyes first, always.
Absolutely. And then a pretty rustic salad.
Yeah, so like I was saying at the top of the show, these cherry growers, that region in Washington State, Yakima Valley, very, very famous for cherries, of course, but also super famous for their apples. So most of the growers that in the summertime, they're harvesting their cherries in the orchard, and then they are also harvesting apples shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
So what we did here, this is probably my
I've been
favorite.
eyeing this. This has to be good.
This is my favorite cherry recipe on the whole producemoms.com, which is a bold statement because we have lots. But it's a salad dressing. So you blend the cherries in it.
Ooh.
And it's basically a balsamic dressing with cherries added. That's really the best way to describe it. So for this is that apple salad that we'll make sure you can find on the homepage, and then we'll just need to toss this, obviously, so that it all blends together.
Yeah.
But the cherry vinaigrette, it just adds such a nice, subtle, and it just comes together so pretty. We've got blue cheese in here, pecans, we've got greens, we've got tomatoes. So you can take your favorite salads of fall and add a fruit-forward or cherry-forward vinaigrette, and then it immediately becomes a summertime treat. Like people do not realize that they're eating maybe what you would typically serve during the fall. They're just enjoying, wow, this is a beautiful summer light salad.
It is beautiful. I know so much to get to, Lori. Good stuff. I can't wait to try. How was it, Rand?
Oh, fantastic.
Delicious.
It's so
Sounds
good.
so
They're on a
good.
graham cracker.
Yeah, so more with Lori coming up here in just a little bit. But first, we've been talking great pasta push, George.